Welcome back. There's growing speculation this morning that Vladimir Putin may be suffering from a serious medical condition, potentially even blood cancer. It comes amid reports senior members of Russian society, including disaffected generals, could be planning a coup. Joining us now is international security expert and ANU Professor John Blaxland, who's in Canberra. Professor, good morning to you. How much weight should we give these reports that Vladimir Putin could be suffering cancer?
Yeah, it's hard to know exactly. I mean, we've seen these rumours circulating for some time, and you can read reports about indications that it looks like he might be on some kind of treatment. The puffiness is certainly extraordinary, and speaks to, he looks unwell. There's no question about that. So the growing number of indications of that suggests that that's probably true. Exactly how he's being treated and what the prospects are, of course, we just don't have the visibility on that.
There would be a number of reasons to keep that under wraps, one being that any sign of weakness from a Russian leader is an invitation for others to step in, and almost on cue, there are reports that coups could be planning, at least in that phase, and could be underway. Is this likely?
Well, we've seen, a number of prominent generals killed in the battle. We've seen Gerasimov sidelined. We've seen reports of considerable tension between the FSB, the KGB replacement, and the military hierarchy. The FSB having briefed Putin that everything was going to be fine, and the military hierarchy saying we should have gone harder. And of course, while they might be saying that they should have gone harder, the bottom line is that the Russians haven't exactly performed to top levels. So, but the prospect is very interesting. If we do see a coup, people think, well, maybe that's great. Maybe we'll see Putin replaced and we'll all be over. The problem is it could be somebody even more bolshy, dare I say, more prepared to up the ante and go into the tactical nuke space. And that's, of course, a really grim scenario.
What would that look like? What are people in the intelligence communities around the Western world looking for in Russia that would give them evidence that this is happening?
So you're looking for capability and intent. They're the two broad categories of intelligence analysis. And when you're looking at capability, you're looking who's in the inner circle left. I mean, there's been a fair bit of purging going on, particularly on the FSB side. So who's left, who's in a position of strength, and who's demonstrably, or there's indications that he or she is, there's not very many she's in this mix, of course, but who's out there who's prepared to, or giving indications that they're challenging. This guy who's been reporting of the illness of President Putin, maybe he's the guy to, be able to indicate more clearly. There's a lot of intelligence assets kind of monitoring various angles, trying to pick up more signals to get more clarity, because it's very, very opaque.
Look, a little closer to home and much closer to home, a Chinese spy ship has been hugging the coast of WA. The government informed us at the end of last week. How worried should we be about that?
Well, this is a sophisticated Chinese spy ship that's designed to basically hoover up the whole radio frequency and electromagnetic spectrum. Anything emanating out there, they'll be sucking it up, and they'll be taking the data back to China to then analyse it and then see about how they might be able to use it against us. So, yeah, it's not great, but they're not breaking the law. They're 12 nautical miles. They're more than that. They're at about 50 nautical miles, reports say. So that's actually well within legal limits. And to be fair, a lot of countries do this kind of thing. It is surprising, I guess, to a certain extent. We saw this a lot in the Cold War days when the Soviet Union had so-called fishing fleets bobbing around places like Exmouth, because there's a naval communication station out there that's really high tech, very sophisticated, very important piece of kit. Most Australians don't know much about it, but it is actually a really significant piece of real estate.
These are fascinating times, John. I always appreciate your time on the show.